Hello and welcome to another episode of Frightfully Forgotten Horror Movies. What are we drinking today, Adam?
Today we're drinking 2,4,5-trioxin. Good enough to wake the dead.
Let the son of a bitch out!
Let him out! Today we're going to be talking about and recommending to you 1983's The Keep, which is directed by Michael Mann. It's based on the book by F. Paul Wilson. It stars Jürgen Prochnow, who is, of course, in Das Boot.
Yeah.
Also stars Gabriel Byrne, who is in Usual Suspects. Scott Glenn is in this. He was in Urban Cowboy. Ian McKellen is in this.
Right, yeah.
Of course, he is Gandalf in Lord of the Rings. Star-studded cast before there were even really anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
They were kind of unknowns at this point.
The movie starts off with a wicked intro by Tangerine Dream. There's all this mist everywhere.
Yeah.
These soldiers in tanks, they're slowly coming down this pass in Romania to take over this keep that's there.
You really get a good sense of dread in the look on the villagers' face as they're seeing these Nazis.
They meet the caretaker of this keep, Klaus Warman. He's trying to get information from this caretaker. Who built it? Oh, I don't know. You must leave now. You can't stay here. The caretaker guy says, you mustn't touch the crosses. They must stay. While these soldiers are on watch, there's one cross that looks like it's silver, and they pry this thing out of the wall and reveals like this shaft, lures him down, opens to this enormous cavern. You see like all this light coming towards him. He like drags back the body and like there's nothing left of the head or anything. It cuts to this mysterious man. He sits up straight in bed and his eyes are glowing. Packs a bag. He has this long box with him. He books passage to Romania. Soldiers are dying. The SS strolls into town and they think that it's partisan activity that's killing their own soldiers. Just as they kill a few of the villagers, that Warman comes rushing out saying that there is no partisan activity. Yeah. Something else is killing the soldiers.
They find this writing on the wall, different weird language. So they actually enlist Professor Kuza. Professor Kuza is a Jew and he's in a concentration camp at this point with his daughter, Eva. They let him out.
Yeah.
So he can try to decipher this writing on the wall and maybe find out what's happening to the soldiers. Now there is a female in the keep surrounded by a bunch of SS Nazi soldiers. And they attempt to rape Eva. Whatever is killing the soldiers in the keep ends up killing the soldiers and their heads all blow up.
Again? Yeah. Boom! He likes to blow up heads.
Yeah. This entity appears to Professor Kuza, kind of almost like a vampire, but not sucking blood, but sucking like life force. He's slowly like rebuilding himself. And of course, Professor Kuza is almost kind of grateful to him because he stopped these Nazis from raping his daughter. Molasar cures Kuza from this awful disease he has, and Molasar is also pissed off that these Nazis have occupied his keep. Kuza is kind of on his side because he wants to get rid of the Nazis too because he's a Jew. So Molasar kind of tries to get Kuza on his side and get him to remove this talisman from the keep. This talisman keeps him in the keep. He can leave the keep, and what he tells Kuza is, well, he'll go and kill all the Nazis for him. This mysterious character who had woken up earlier and shows up at the village, and then they just have sex. Like, it's just like, they're just doing it.
It's all symbolic. Yeah, they're all stretched out. And it's like, what? This Glaken guy works fast.
Yeah, you know, and he's actually come to do battle with this Molasar character to make sure he doesn't leave the keep, because if he does, he'll basically slowly destroy all of humanity. It gets pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, it's one of the hallmarks of this movie, really. This movie is visually incredible.
Great sets. Great cinematography. Shot of that boat on the water is just stunning, breathtaking. There's all this mist and there's all these dead bodies like sprawl around and these turned over like Nazi tanks and stuff, and it's just like,
it's really cool.
It's so like apocalyptic looking.
You don't really see what happens. It's like, Jesus Christ, I wonder what the hell he did to cause all this, you know? Tangerine Dream does the soundtrack for this movie, and it's one of my favorite soundtracks.
Yeah,
scores.
the music is really good, but it doesn't always complement
The scenes, yeah. It's like a scary scene, but it's kind of upbeat music, or the other way around. And
the practical effect of the demon, the Molasar, is really good looking.
Yeah, the layers of him as he's growing, right?
Yeah, he goes through different stages of kind of like rebuilding himself back into a physical form, and it's a scary looking bugger.
Yeah, he is.
The actor who plays Molasar is Michael Carter. Another famous character that he plays is another character in complete makeup, and that's Bib Fortuna from Return of the Jedi. Hey, Jabba, no bother.
Michael Mann seems to have disowned this movie. His original version was 210 minutes long, which is like over 3 hours.
Yeah.
The execs ended up sort of taking over the whole project.
It was cut down to 2 hours, and then they did a test screening, and then they said, well, you got to cut more out, and then they cut it down to 96 minutes.
Right, and so that's why a lot of scenes seem rushed, or they're not explained properly.
Yeah, it's definitely a flawed movie.
Yeah, and you can see the flaws, though, too.
Because a lot of important information and scenes were completely cut out.
Yeah, exactly, and so you're wondering, it's like, wait, when did that guy show up, or what's going on here?
So it'd be very interesting to see Michael Mann's original cut. Even the 2-hour cut would be
nice.
Nice to see. That's almost half an hour.
There was that petition going around to get Michael Mann to release the full 3.5 hour long movie.
Yeah.
But nothing came of it, and he's not doing it, so which is too bad.
Performances in this movie are pretty good, except for Ian McKellen.
Yeah, he mails this one in.
I'd say he doesn't really mail it in. He just hams it up like so much. Like I thought he was way overacting to the point where I was laughing. 2 negative things about this movie, and that is it was cut to shreds, damn near cut to ribbons. So it doesn't make as much sense as it should. And Ian McKellen's performance, I think it's just kind of I don't know, it just doesn't do it for me in this. It kind of reminds me of another movie that his very good best friend Patrick Stewart is in, which is Life Force, where he's super overacting in that movie. Yeah. Everyone else is great.
Yeah, everyone else is really good. Another thing about this movie I really like is the Nazis in this movie are the main antagonists. And at this point, it's 1941, they're invincible so far. They're so brash, nothing can beat them. But yet, they are trying to fight this unseen, unstoppable force. And it's kind of neat, right? The dynamic there.
Yeah.
What are these Nazis supposed to do with this?
They feel so invincible, but they're also so helpless at the same time.
Yeah.
Another cool thing in this movie, too, and more so in the book, the dynamic between Warman and Kampfer, and how Warman he is a proud German.
Right.
But he is not really a proud Nazi. Kampfer's character, he's like SS, believes everything that the SS believes in, but Warman's just a proud German, and they really butt heads. Like, the movie for the most part is pretty close to the book. Some differences. We did mention that there's a bigger romance between Kuza's daughter and Glaken character that really builds up over time as opposed to just like a one-night stand. Her name is different. It's not Eva, it's Magda. Molasar doesn't kill people by exploding their heads.
Yeah, it's different.
He rips their throats out. Well, in the book, Molasar looks completely different. He's not like a demon-looking creature. He's just a regular-looking dude, really. He's just like a count. One of Vlad the Impaler's, like, buddies. He's like buddies with Vlad the Impaler in the book.
Pale people together. Like friends do,
Yeah, look what I did.
Yeah.
If you want a visual feast, beautiful looking movie, beautiful sounding movie, definitely check out The Keep. It's one of those kind of lost gems.
It's been swept under the rug.
Swept under the rug by the director itself, right?
Yeah.
So check it out. If you like any other Michael Mann movie, if you like Manhunter, if you like Legend, I think you'll like this movie because they're both kind of visually really appealing movies, and the score, again, by Tangerine Dream, it's great. Maybe one day we'll get a proper Blu-ray or DVD release with like lots of special features and extended cut.
The 3.5 hour long one I want to see.
Yeah, we're all waiting for it. So come on, Michael Mann, you can do it. Put it out.
Check it out. 1983's The Keep.